All right, welcome everyone. This is Solana Smoke, I think number 7. We are the 19th of February 2026, and we'll just get started. So today I'm not sure if Ross will be joining us, but you have the pleasure of having me live. So as usual, we'll have a couple of videos that we'll be playing. We'll be reviewing really the state of everything that is happening a bit on the Solana ecosystem. We found that the Accelerate APAC conference were very interesting, and we are going to be doing another dive in there. We spoke last week about the DAT, so digital asset treasury companies, and we'll be diving a little bit deeper, maybe on that front. Let's see what everything is all about. And today I am actually finishing a small cigar that I started yesterday. So it's a little local one from the island here. So nothing too fancy, but like we spoke a couple of weeks ago, we don't mind having a second life to the cigar. So that's what we're going to be doing. And for those of you curious, we have a very nice lighter here. So this is what we'll be doing today. So to spice things up, what we'll be looking at, let me share already my screen, is this this video. So looking at the APAC conference, one of the video actually that was kind of the most viewed, this is kind of what I wanted to kind of have a look is, okay, what videos are actually mainly being watched? And so this one is the most viewed. So this is why we're going to be looking at it, simply because I think it's important to, really pay attention where people are paying attention. And so this video is from the speaker, the panel host, Joseph Chee, from last week, who was hosting the panel. And so he's the chairman of HSDT, which is the ticker for Solana Company. For Solana Company being this, so DAT, really the digital asset treasury company that is being simply, accumulating SOL. And so if we dive a little bit more into kind of their business model, let's have a look at their website right now. So building the prominent Solana treasury. So really what they did, they took a Nasdaq company that was already on the stock market and turned it simply into a kind of Solana accumulation vehicle. And actually, if we're going to be paying a little bit more attention to this message, is it, here we go. So this is live from the chairman. So here, really, what we're reading, it's it's a bit old. It's October 2025, but really they're going over how transparent, how markets are volatile, but they still believe that Solana is really the asset. And basically their business model, like we spoke last week, what is it really that they're looking to achieve? Well, is this 7% yield, basically, that they say that can only be reached with the sophisticated institutional grade staking. I mean, is it really true? I guess you can easily find some 6% native staking. So again, are we really talking to kind of crypto people, or is it more for your typical Joe investing on the stock market? I don't know. And then we expect to deploy capital strategically during market dislocation. What do they mean by that? I guess they mean whatever the price crashes, they're going to buy more. Let's see. Hopefully we're seeing these companies that keep on accumulating Solana and really are playing, like they say, we are playing the long game and we're inviting to join. So yeah, hopefully this is really what's going to be happening, and they're not going to just either sell. There's a lot of talks of maybe sailor that has to be that has to sell his Bitcoin. Is it gonna be happening? I don't see it. There was actually another article where he was mentioning that actually he could withstand like a 70 or 80% crash of Bitcoin before he would actually be selling. But the problem is, all this debt that he's been accumulating. If the lenders are just like, sailor, you have to sell, and kind of create this cascade effect where he's selling, the price goes down and keeps on going down. So these are kind of the things that are happening right now. But yeah, let's jump in the video. So it'll be like I said, Joseph really kind of going through. For those of you joining now, why did we decide to look at this video in particular? Because it's kind of the most viewed on the whole kind of APAC conference. So let's have a look at HSDT Solana Company keynote and what's happening actually in.
Thank you. To be honest, I think right now is a bit difficult for the sector. I mean, it's going through this once in 4-year down cycle. And I came from TradFi, and I never understand why there should be a 4-year cycle. But it is where it is, whatever. But to be honest,
the 4-year cycle is really at the beginning of crypto, and I mean mainly Bitcoin. It was coming from mainly halving. Halving was what was kind of creating this cycle, and then traders starting to believe that it should be happening. So it's kind of self-creating prophecy where we say something will happen and then it actually happened, but is it happening because it should happen, or is it because people believe it will happen? So I think anyway we're kind of breaking from this cycle simply because a lot of first, if we just look at Bitcoin issuance, there's way less Bitcoin being issued every time. So kind of we're reaching already the 21. I mean, we're I guess around 19 million of Bitcoin being issued. So but like the rate of issuance of Bitcoin is really lowering. So we won't be looking at these so much anymore. And just because the market is so much more diverse now. So maybe we're looking at the different type of cycles. And if we have a lot more real world assets, stablecoin coming into the game, I think this 4-year cycle will evolve into something different.
I ran capital markets for a long time. Markets goes up and down, and downtime sometimes is good, because I think I'm sure you heard Anthony Scaramucci this morning, right? And I think I'm also feeling the same. The downtime actually gives you more time to run the company properly, to think about strategically what you should be building, hire the right people, build it out, execute. Otherwise, if it's uptime, I'll be on conferences, roadshows, seeing investors all the time. And
so what he's saying now is because kind of there's less eyes on the crypto market, so there's less events. People are less looking to invest, so we can actually spend more time at the office, which I completely agree. And I mean, I think this is the moment where as well companies need to be more disciplined, because of course there's less capital. Maybe even in his case, Solana has crashed. There's less value in the company, so the share price is going down. Investors are looking at you, so I think there's a lot of pressure. But yeah, company needs to be more disciplined. They have, of course, less runway. Usually, especially if they're kind of young companies that maybe just did a raise or something, and the market is not evolving into the direction where we want the market to be, which is, of course, going up. And so we end up in this scenario where only real product actually adding real value will be surviving. Simple as that. And so I think it's very healthy as well, because we're going away from the whole hype game where we're just launching shitty meme coin left and right just because everyone is talking about that. And we're actually focusing on really building solutions for where we're having actual problems, and not just trying to grab a a couple of coins left and right and really not thinking long term and really, am I adding value to the ecosystem? Am I helping my users, or am I just running a Ponzi or a rug pull? So yeah, Joseph, I completely agree with you here.
So right now, I think it marks sort of a transition period, a turning point for blockchain, right? And I think it all started like even last year, people realized it. And with a business model that used to work very well in the past, may still work in the future, but it's time to build new ones that's sustainable, real life use cases on Solana. And that's why I think for the next phase and the next super cycle where you see Solana was like the hardest thing, the most important thing that happens for blockchain, for capital markets, for the world, it should start here. And let me tell you why. For a lot of you who came from this part of the world, some of the numbers are not new to you. They're 4.8 billion, 60% of global.
So we're talking about Asia clearly. 4.8 billion people, yes. 40% of the global export. Okay. Most of the manufactured goods are coming from, of course, Eastern Asia. E-commerce, yes, we know that the Asian population are very, very excited about everything e-commerce. We see these videos where these women are changing clothes or grabbing stuff very quickly, and this sells like hotcakes in Asia. And then cross-border payment, yes, again, I think for me it's kind of crypto has always been this important product in the remittance game, where you're having people working abroad and sending money back to the family, but instead of using companies that are charging humongous fees and taking forever and sending your money, you're just using, at the beginning we're using simply Bitcoin, then kind of more different altcoins, and now we're simply sending stablecoin. So yeah, and only Solana can absorb this on chain. Yeah, agree with you, Joseph. Let's see where you're going.
And I mean, at the moment, if you look at most of the users of blockchain, Solana, it mostly concentrated in the West, right? And most of the major economies here are export-led economies. This is 60%, a lot of exports to the rest of the world. E-commerce, China is a big part of it, right? All the small stores, SMEs, mom and pop store, all the way to big corporates. There's a lot of different kind of things, all the way down to high-tech stuff, down to the simple thing of like a spoon, being exported globally. E-commerce market share is humongous. So it's not a surprise that global cross-border payments, a big chunk of it.
I mean, we have to remember that we're at the Accelerate APAC, so clearly there's an Asian angle there. But yeah, anyway, we'll let Joseph continue.
Happen with counterparty in this part of the world, and the first billion user that on Solana, on whatever application altogether, will happen here for sure, 100%. And the other thing that's important.
So the first billion user will come from China or Asia. Yeah, but I mean, you have to remember that there's already a massive user base. So to reach the 1 billion users, yeah, of course, we'll have Asian users, but they won't be only coming from Asia. So I think that's important as well, to kind of not just listen to his hype, but be mindful of all of these things.
Asia over the last 20 years has grown in wealth. There's a lot of wealthy people that became accumulated wealth very fast in the last 20 years. And it's a big part of it right now. You can see it reflected in the equity market, bond markets, real estate, everything else, right? A lot of this money came from what? All the exports of goods from this region to outside, it comes in. And there's one thing people don't realize. People keep asking, where is the buying power on the crypto side? When you do RWA, you have all sort of assets on chain. Who's going to buy them? This. Because a lot of next few years, you will see a lot of your money coming back to this region.
Agree, but again, can they? China is always playing kind of hard to get with crypto and blockchain. It was a discussion we were having with the team where we always say Bitcoin is crashing every couple of times, and everyone is like, don't touch Bitcoin. I think a recurring theme is as well China is banning. China is banning crypto. China is opening again. China is banning. China is releasing the digital currency. Yeah, but I think it's a very hard place to navigate regulation-wise. So it's difficult as well for. I guess it just goes back to the theme that we've been talking, across all this series. Is really we need clear regulation in order for the business to grow and for the users to adopt, because we're in uncharted territories. It's unclear what we can actually do, and this is really what's stopping the on-chain adoption.
In the form of stablecoins, more and more so into the hands of corporate individuals, SME everywhere. And there'll be a big stash of stablecoins built up in Asia. And this is a good place to build tech companies, because China, India, Vietnam, they produce the majority of the tech talents at the moment globally. And you just look at the numbers, it's just nothing to compare. And if you want to build here, right now, especially.
I mean, of course, if we're comparing China and India versus the US number of graduates, of course there are more, but we have to look as well at China is what both China and India are 1 billion, and then US is 300 million. So yes, there is more people, but do they want to focus on working in crypto, for example? Do they want to focus on working in blockchain? That's the whole. I mean, there's a massive AI wave. I mean, we can see how Asia is really pushing the lead there. But although we have all those graduates, if again the regulation is not encouraged, and we're having difficulty to actually get all these brains and smart engineers to actually build on the blockchain. So again, we need clarity.
Down cycle, now you're not going to be too excited. Companies that have 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 150,000 IT people, some are downsizing. We have these people that could be helpful to building on Solana. And don't be afraid of China, like I said in Abu Dhabi, right? Do not help any capital flight from the country. Do not help go and rip off mums and pops. They're happy for you to use their resources, use their people to build real-life use cases on blockchain. And as recent as 10 days ago, the CSRC, the security regulator of China, has announced that using onshore asset in China to issue RWA, tokenize crypto offshore, is okay.
Wait, what? So he's saying that the Chinese government is allowing mainline assets, so Chinese, let's say Chinese equity or Chinese real estate, let's do, if we're just focusing on RWA, to be tokenized, but they have to do it offshore. Okay, so that's interesting. So we can access the Chinese market in a tokenized way, but it needs to be done offshore. Why not onshore? I don't know. I mean, same way that they don't want to do any ICO or centralized exchange, but they want to get the cash from the ecosystem, but they don't want to kind of burn their fingers. Or that's interesting. Let's see if there's another reason for.
All you have to do is pre-file with them, like issuing debt and equity using domestic assets. That's what it.
So you need to pre-file. So pre-file, it just means basically that before doing it, you need to inform some sort of regulatory body of, okay, I will be tokenizing this using my offshore structure, maybe Hong Kong or anywhere else, and maybe I don't know if they need some sort of validation, some sort of approval, or if it's just you're informed, and here we go. So okay, that's interesting. That could be somewhere where it's growing.
Telling you, they are supportive of building real businesses.
But actually, now talking out loud about it, what does it actually do, this pre-filing? Well, it's again, domestic kind of control. Although you're saying, yes, you can do it, but only if we allow you to. So again, it will be only, I guess, handpicked, hand-selected companies that will be able to do it, and ultimately will have the regime controlling whatever it is happening. So maybe again testing the same way that they were doing with the kind of offering stablecoin yield on the Chinese currency. I don't know. Let's see what actually happens.
Super apps, we all know this. I mean, the Asian, the Chinese are very good. It's KakaoTalk, Alibaba, TikTok, Rakuten, whatever, and all have tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billion users. And Asian developers are very good at this. And if you are not here yet, I suggest that you think about using the talent here to start building. And the big population here is for you to grab. And I guess in the Web3 space, there's already some super app that you can see that's built out of here. And the other thing that's interesting about this part of the world, which as a Malaysian I still don't quite understand, because the old folks in China, in Taiwan, everywhere, everyone is so open to using new technology, to learn something new, to do it. As long as it's not too difficult, they would do it faster than any other Western countries. And this is I think if you get the right product and right apps out there, I think the conversion rate and growth will be a lot faster. And by the way, Southeast Asia, there are hundreds of millions of people. They are not even banked. They don't have a bank account. At the moment, they're using e-wallet from Gojek, for example. Places like Indonesia, 3,000 islands. They don't have bank branches there, right? And it's impossible. It's not economical to build bank branches, and you can reach out to them. These are the.
Okay, so leapfrogging. I think it's something we see a lot. For example, in Africa as well. There's many examples where this happens. So in his comments, the West is not doing it. I guess it's Asia, Africa. They're really experts. Even South America, they are leapfrogging. And then on his comment of the unbanked, yes, but I mean, although they've been unbanked, I don't think they've been kind of disconnected. If we think of Asian apps like, for example, WeChat and all of this, for sure there is already a massive adoption there. So why would they change from WeChat to kind of Solana stablecoin? You'd have to really bring a lot more use case than just the use of stablecoin. So maybe when he's mentioning, okay, you need to make very interesting apps that people would be using, yes, 100%. But is it going to be enough? Will people trust the ecosystem, or if they already kind of trust WePay, why change it?
Underbanked population that will skip a generation. Perhaps they will never ever have a bank account in their lives, right? And this is also for you to grab. Crypto users, I mean, Asians like investments, like gambling, and it's not a surprise to me that we have a huge.
I mean, again, I think it's a poor use of words. Of course, they like gambling. So what? That's why, because they're gamblers, they should jump on the crypto meme coin wave. It's a bit simplifying, the whole ecosystem. I mean, if you really want Solana to be used as this kind of really infrastructure and railway, like, you shouldn't just say let's get gamblers on and give them meme coins. Joseph, a bit sad on this comment.
Huge user base here, the majority of it globally. These are turning into users. If you build use cases that are useful to them, I mean, at the moment, I mean, because we invest in a lot of early stage ventures, I mean, even Chinese people in China now could pay for the subway using their crypto wallets. They could consume. We can't trade them, we can buy them, they can consume, right? So if you build,
we can trade, we can't trade them, we can't buy them, but we can use them. That's interesting. So he's saying that there's a massive already adoption, but again, the regulation is not allow them to create them, but they can use them. So that's, again, very interesting. I mean, it's true that we see a lot of users coming from Asia in all sorts of, products already. But it's just a shame that the regulation is not up to speed, and that they want to, keep this control over the companies, and unfortunately, this is harming the users and the ecosystem in the long run.
Real life use cases, you could convert these, the buyers, investors, speculators, those people are having fun to become users, and also those that are not in here yet. This is the proof.
So just to go back maybe on the point of gambling, yes, maybe if you start with like a kind of a fun way of getting into the ecosystem, and then say, well, actually, now that you're a Solana users, let's go more into the real use case. Could be you start with the fun and you finish with the kind of more down to earth project. Why not?
Momentum is real. Asia has the highest growth on on-chain value. Payment, remittances, gaming, hedging is all coming. This, it looks like a big number, 250 billion. This is nothing. We're talking about tens of trillions potentially. This is all coming. If you focus on this, I think the return on your effort is very high. So I always say this, Solana is low cost, high speed, scalable. It's perfect for Asians, especially for Chinese. It's what they do. That's their culture. That's their business model. And
it's true that the Asians, they especially like he says Chinese, they're all always looking for a good deal. They want speed. They're used to that. But is it really the setting point? Like, is it enough? The technology is there, or do you need actually to to have something else than just fast transactions? You need really the trust. So you need to build these apps, and you need, again, I feel like I'm always saying the same, but I think we need the regulation to help us in that direction, saying, okay, this is a product where we believe it's safe for people to use, and ultimately this is when the trust will be, you will get your users. And of course, all these features are clearly important, but there's more to it, I think, Joseph.
This will make it easy for you to grow your business here using Solana as your base protocol. And I guess, needless to say, I guess these are all the good reasons. We need more Solana builders here. I think it's a lot of, please get the news out. We're here to help. The foundation is here to help. Solana Company is here to help. We don't know how to do it, come to us. You need any advice, come to us. If you don't know the counterparties you're dealing with, come to us. We'll be helpful. Thank you very much.
Well, very good. I mean, I think ultimately the message that he really wanted to, kind of push is, Solana is here, and Solana is useful for building any sorts of app, and the infrastructure is there, and basically it's ready to onboard all of these Asian users and Asian apps. So yeah, overall, I think it was an interesting talk. Again, plenty of little points where we've been kind of agreeing. Of course, we have to remember that he is the president, the chairman of Solana Company, really kind of being pushed by the Solana Foundation. But a lot of fair points. So yeah, I think this is where we're going to be closing our Solana Smoke today. So really understanding a little bit more the Asian market, was interesting. I have a lot of hope that it will be, a continent where we can see a lot of growth, not only from a user point of view, but of course from a builder point of view. I think we need all sorts of apps. A lot of the use cases will be built, kind of for first some sort of local initiatives, and then that can be duplicated. So I'm still and always been very bullish on Solana, and we hope that everything grows in the right direction. So that's it for me today. That was thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week. All right, talk soon. Bye bye.